What is up, Super Fam and Bro Vengers alike? I am Sensei Finito, aka Vane Sensei, and welcome to Marvel Bros, where we discuss all things Marvel and everything pop culture. And today we are going to be doing our review and discussion for Captain America Brave New World. This movie just released today. I just got back from seeing it. I had a really good time with it. I hope you guys, if you've watched it, enjoyed it as well, because man, it was a fun time. I'm not gonna lie. We'll get into all my thoughts, theories, and questions that I may have, as well as some questions that you guys may have as well tonight. So don't you worry, a pretty little hit. We're gonna get into the first 15 minutes are going to be all of our non-spoiler our spoiler-free review. We might not take that full 15 minutes to talk about it, but if we do, that's what those first 15 minutes will be, is our just non-spoiler review of talking about the movie, talking about certain aspects of it, giving our overall rating of what the movie is, and then after that, we'll deep dive into the nerdy lore things and all those other good stuff that's popping off as well. So, yeah, yo, let me know how you guys felt about it. Let me get a one in the chat if you guys saw Captain America Brave New World today already. Let me know if you've seen it. Let me get a two in the chat if you have not watched it yet. So one in the chat if you have watched Captain America Brave New World. Two in the chat if you haven't. Let me know. Let me know. Like I said, I just got back from seeing the movie. I thought it was solid, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was solid. So let me know what's popping. You let me know what's going on. I didn't think that it was a terrible movie, and I don't think it was one of the greatest movies ever. You know what I mean? I thought it was a solid movie for what it was, and then we can all kind of get into what we did and didn't like a little bit later on in the stream. Okay, but first, if you guys haven't already, make sure you drop a like on the stream because it helps out tremendously around these parts. If you guys would like to support what we do here at Marvel Bros, you always can by sending a super thanks. And if you want to change the conversation up a little bit or want me to 100% read your chat, you can always send a super chat, and whatever you say, we'll deep dive into that. Okay, I definitely want to know how everyone is feeling about it, and we are going to be just chit chatting and yapping about it today. You know what I mean? So I am so hyped, bro. Like I'm hyped to talk about it more than anything because I think that this movie was enriched with world building and lore more than anything else. So we'll talk about that as well. But first and foremost, how did you guys feel about the movie? Again, I think I see some ones, I see some twos. I think I see a little bit of everything. Maybe I'm tripping. Um, uh, Deep dive into. Start going. Oops. Whatever. All right, yo. So, like I said, these first 15 minutes will be for. These first 15 minutes are gonna be all for the chat. Hold on, I gotta send my wife some money for pizza, so we can get some pizza for the kids. My bad. Hold on. My bad, y'all. Oh shit. Hold on. Hold on. My bad. I'm happy this happened now, so I can get this out of the way before we start going in. All right. All right, chat. Let's get into it, okay? Let's get into it. Um Okay, good God. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. And 15 minutes starting. I just got back from seeing Captain America Brave New World, and I'm going to give you guys my spoiler free thoughts, some of my theories that I might have, I guess. Maybe not theories, because theories are a little bit more spoilery. So everything that I'm about to talk about is going to be spoiler free. Not going to try to talk about any big moments or anything like that. None of the plot, none of those things. Just my overall thoughts of what happened in this movie. Kind of talk about some of the characters, maybe, and just things along the lines of that. Just so if you guys haven't seen the movie, it's not going to spoiler it for you. And then after I give my spoiler free review, we'll get into the nitty gritty things that I really want to talk about as well. So I'll let you know when it's time to get into that spoiler session. So, first and foremost, I really did enjoy Captain America Brave New World. I thought that there was a lot of things going on in this movie, like a lot of things going on in this movie. But even though there was a lot going on, I think they still did a pretty solid job of tackling those aspects that they were trying to blend together. I don't think that it was done in the best way possible, but I do think that they still did a very good job with this movie. And I think that the majority of people will be able to, check it out and have a good time with it. But I also feel like there's quite a bit of homework that you might need to do to kind of know what's going on here with this movie as well, which isn't a bad thing. But usually when people say, "Oh, I got to do homework or whatever the case may be for this movie," usually that's not true. But in this case, it is. Like it is true. Like it is true. You do have to 100% like know a little bit about something, or else you're gonna feel at least a little left out in the movie. Like if you would ask me what is actual 100% must need watched whatever, I would tell you to watch The Incredible Hulk, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, as well as Eternals. Those three, I would say, are probably more of a necessity to watch, with Eternals not being a full blown necessity. But if you want to understand the world building that's going on, then you're going to want to watch Eternals. But for everybody, world building and lore isn't the thing that they go for when they go to the movies. So that's why I can understand why some people might not like this, because of the fact that this movie is fully built off of world building and lore. Like that is what this movie is about. It's about extending the future of the MCU as well, while also wrapping up some of the loose ends that we've had from the past, which I think is dope, because probably whenever we get a new Hulk movie or a Hulk show or whatever may happen with Hulk next, especially with that now that we have Scar, I feel like they don't want to have the baggage of the Incredible Hulk movie on them with that, because people want to know what happened with the leader, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I think every single thing that people are always like, man, what happened to this? What happened to this? I think they've tried to take all of those things and weave them together and make a plot out of it. Did it work? Yes and no. I think it worked more than it didn't work. I had a solid time with the movie. I think that the fact that the movie was fun, because this is a fun movie in a lot of weird ways. It's not so I don't it's weird. It's not fun, but it's a fun movie. And I think that fun aspect actually hurts it a little bit more than anything. It makes it be like, "Oh, what's happening here?" That's kind of how it made me feel when I was watching the movie, because I was like, oh, the tone, it felt like the vibe and the tone were constantly clashing with each other, trying to figure out what type of movie this wanted to be. There were a lot of elements of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier in this movie, and I feel like those elements did not need to be there. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier was awesome because of what it was, and also because it was kind of a cliff note, a footnote on that journey of Sam Wilson really actually being Captain America. So now that we have him being Captain America, they tried to turn some of those aspects or some of those things that he was feeling in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. They were still kind of here, which I understand they would be, but I feel like they were here a little bit too much. I feel like those elements they were trying to blend in together too often. Yo, welcome to the Super Fam. I appreciate you. I just feel like they were trying to blend in a little bit too much of everything at one time. But other than that, I really did have a good time. I hope I don't sound like I didn't have a good time, because I did. Like, I was intrigued I was like really paying attention as well, which was another thing. I felt like this movie was one of those movies where if you're not really paying attention to what's going on, you're not going to understand what's happening. And but they do the due diligence, I guess, of also walking you through what's happening if you haven't been paying attention, which I think is annoying for those who are paying attention. So it's a little bit of best of it's a little bit of a bittersweet type of vibe to where I was like as I'm watching it. Of course, it's like this spy thriller that they have going on. They have these spy vibes and all of that. But then as you're watching it and the tension is high or it's a very emotional moment, they may crack a joke because they're trying to still have Sam Wilson be like the funny guy, which is okay, but it just doesn't work within the context of where they were trying to do it at. I said it in one of my other reviews that I did, like as soon as I got to the theater, like on for TikTok. I feel like if this movie was more serious, like 100% of the time, it would be a lot better. Like I think those moments where they try to take it, I think the movie not taking itself I think they don't take this movie serious enough in a weird way because there's some really serious things that happen, but it's just the like we would be in a car with Sam or something, and then a song plays, and the song doesn't fit the tone of what's happening in the. It's like he's just listening to music on the radio. See, though that can sometimes be a good element for storytelling, but in this case, it just didn't work the same way, right? Like I don't know. There were so many things going on at once, and I just feel like they were trying to. There was just a lot of contrasting flavors that just kind of make you. It's a little bittersweet. Like I said, it's a little bittersweet. I don't think this movie is bad, but I also don't think this is like the best movie ever. It's not like, oh yeah, like everybody keeps saying we back, baby. It's like we really never left. Everything is just has a hit and miss. You know what I mean? And this isn't a miss. It's just it's like you guys hit the mark for sure, but I don't think you should have did it in that way. You know what I mean? So that's why I can understand why some people are like, I don't like this movie, because if you were expecting it to just be like Captain America, Civil War, or The Winter Soldier, it's not too much like that, but at the same time it is. So it's so weird because you kind of get a little bit of a whiplash scenario going on because you're like, oh man, like at least for me, anytime I try to really talk, like anytime I was trying to talk about the thing that I didn't like in the movie, once I start really digging deeper into that point, I was like, actually, that was that's not bad. Like it's not a bad thing that happened. It just threw me off for some reason. Like things just threw me off in the movie. Again, like the some of the jokes, like my guy, like Joaquin in the movie. I don't want to hate on this actor, but my guy wasn't doing it for me the whole time, right? Like towards the end when no, that kind of sounds bad, but but that works though because something happens and it changes his character. You know what I mean? Like it changes the character. So it's just it's very different, and it's a good movie. But I want everybody to kind of, if you're gonna go watch the movie, go into it and not think about all the other things that people have said that are negative, because those things are very surface level. That's it. Like the things that I have an issue with in this movie are very surface level outside of like the CGI, right? There is a couple moments where the CGI, it threw me off. I can't lie to you, it did. We have like a close up moment of like Sam and he's talking or something like that, and then because it's like a battleground behind him, it looks a little interesting. There are just but it's not throughout the entire movie. There's just certain elements or certain moments when that happens, and you're just like, ooh, okay, but it's not a big deal because it's not a big deal. I don't know how else to say it, but I think if you look at this movie through a magnifying glass, you will find issues, but you will find issues with anything that you look at a magnifying glass through. So my rating for this movie is a solid 7.3 or a 3.5, depending on how you do it. 7.3 out of 10. 5. Whoa. 7.3. Whoa. So my overall rating for this movie is a 7.3 out of 10 and then a 3.5 out of 5 depending on how you do your rating scale. I don't think that this movie is terrible. I think it's good. I think there's a lot of good elements. There are also elements that are a little not even bad. It's just like I think some things were just too on the nose, especially with this movie being the spy espionage thriller that it's kind of set out to be. I don't like when my spy espionage thrillers tell me exactly what's happening and fill me in on every point of what's going on. I want to figure it out. Like if I do figure it out, for sure, awesome. If I don't figure it out, give me those little other breadcrumbs to kind of piece the story together still, because that's what the spy espionage vibe is all about. And I feel like there are just moments where we get our handheld as the audience to be like, hey guys, so this is exactly what's happening in this movie right now. And that was not a big, I wasn't a big fan of that thing when it happened. You know what I mean? I'm not a fan of that in my spy movies specifically. Specifically in my like spy thriller movies. It's not bad in other movies or other genres because sometimes the audience does need to be caught up. But, you know, and when you look at this as Sam not trying to be a detective in the same manner, right? He's not being a detective, but he does want to find out what's going on. So when you put all these aspects together, you can still enjoy what's going on here. But again, if you look at it through a magnifying glass, you're always going to be able to find something that's wrong. And I don't like the things, and I said it again. I already said it. Like the things that I had an issue with, when you deep dive into them, they make sense. They weave together in their own way. The way that I do feel though is like the creator of this movie maybe should have been the person that created the show, because I don't think it was. That's kind of one of my only things that I'm not a big fan of within Marvel is I feel like maybe they change stuff a little too often like that. In my opinion, they should have took the same people that made the Falcon and the Winter Soldier and made this movie with them, because there's so much that they were trying to do from all these other movies and bring it together. I don't think that this creator of this show probably had too much of a say in what the plot of this movie. Excuse me. I don't think the director of this movie had too much of a say in the plot that the movie has. You know, like for example, like Tiamat, like Tiamat being in it, and the adamantium stuff, and all these other plot threads that are going on. I don't necessarily think that those are the things that the writers, you know what I mean? Like that, I think that this movie is kind of like, all right, let's tie some loose ends by with this movie as well. Let's use this movie to propel the future while also tying up the loose ends of the history of the past. And I think that it actually did do a good job at that. I can't lie. I think that it did do a good job of fleshing out the leader, giving us Thunderbolt Ross, and letting us understand who he is as a character now. What's got him to the point that he's at, the sacrifices he's made, what's been going on with the government since all these other things are going on, how the Sokovia Accords have affected the MCU. Like all of these things are answered in this movie. Like it is heavy on the world building and the lore. But as I said, I think the world building and the lore came first in this movie rather than the story and the plot. And that's kind of a bad thing. It's not a terrible thing because the movie is still good, but it's just kind of like, man, I think that if this movie could have actually been its own thing and not been trying to answer all these questions at once, I think it could have been even better. And of course, like the seriousness, it's just, there's so much balancing on this plate that it's just key. You know, you're kind of, I think that they were kind of going like this when they were creating it. You know what I mean? Like they had that big ass platter and they were stacked and they had a stack of cups on it. And they were just trying to teeter back and forth and make sure they don't fall every time there was another obstacle that arose and came and like was in their way when creating this movie. But, I think all of the actors brought their shit to the table. Like Harrison Ford was awesome as Thunderbolt Ross. You know what I mean? Like he really was. Like he was awesome. You know what I mean? He was really, really good in it, in that role. He just did a damn good job of bringing those things together and just letting it be known like who he is, like who this guy is, bringing it in the old guy, like the old vibe of who played him before, but also bringing his new Thunderbolt Ross vibe into it as well. I really like the dynamic between him and Anthony Mackie. Also, I just didn't expect for him to have such a predominant role in the movie either, because he does have a pretty big role. Like he we don't only see him with Captain America, which I think is good. Like he has his own moments. I think all the little side characters that they had were pretty solid as well. It was a good movie. I thought I really liked Anthony Mackie. I think Anthony Mackie did a fantastic job, bro. I really do. I can't wait to see him again as Captain America, because this felt like a it felt like what it was. Like it felt like the beginning of something new. And I'm so excited to see where it goes, because you know, we it just looks it's good, bro. It's good. And the things that they have brought up and the things that can be implemented in the future is just too good, brother. I'm not gonna lie. So that those are my overall thoughts, and my overall thoughts and opinions of the movie. As I said, it's a solid 7.3 out of 10 or a 3.5 out of 5, depending on how you do your review scale. I enjoyed the movie more than I thought I would. But I will also say things bothered me in this movie more than I thought that they would as well, which is interesting. But yeah, like I enjoyed it. Some things did bother me, but it's nothing too major. It's something that is like, once I look into it, once I think about it, it's like, okay, yeah, I'm over that. Actually, I don't really have, like, my horse isn't in the race that deep for that one little thing. Like, is that what I went to this movie for? Don't think so. You know what I mean? Like, so that doesn't deter me, the fact that it was different. So yeah. So yeah, that's it for me. Let me know how you guys feel about it in the comment section down below. And now that is the end of the spoiler-free section of this stream. And now we are going to get into the full-blown spoilers, baby. We're going to be talking about it. We're going to be nerding out about it. We're going to be answering all the questions that you guys might have about the movie, and really deep diving into all of the stuff that's going on here. So if you guys have not seen the movie, if you guys do not want to be spoiled, then this is your time to get on up out of here, baby, because we about to get all up into them spoilers right here, right now, right here, right now. Okay? Like, we are going to make it happen. All right? So, again, jump into the chat and let me know how you guys are all feeling. I'm going to start reading chat and stuff as well. I just wanted to kind of get that review out before I started going into chat, because I don't know what you guys have said or have not said about the movie yet. So let me get a 1 in the chat if you enjoyed Captain America: Brave New World. Let me get a 2 in the chat if you did not, and then let me get a 3 in the chat if you're not sure how to feel about it. Okay, so let me know how you guys are feeling about it in the comment section down below. All right. My guy Derpy came through. He said, it was mid, but more enjoyable than I thought it would be. And something I probably won't rewatch. And it left me wanting more. 6.5 out of 10. Yo, I can't argue with that. I don't, mid, I mean, mid always has such a negative connotation, but I don't think it like in this case it is a mid. It's not mid as in bad though. It's just not, I don't know. It's not some mid. It's not like mid. It's like, oh bro, no. Like, this is a solid. It's some lid, not mid. I don't know. That was cheese. Let me see. Mike Porter said, I love the movie. Yo, what's up with the Mike? How you doing? Words, what's up with the words? Terrell, Bully, Jericho, Millionaire, bro. One in the world. Hey, Sir Eric, what's happening, G? How you doing, man? I hope you're having a good one. How's everybody doing? Is it worth going to see? I I think it was worth the watch for me as a person who watches all the MCU movies and all those types of things. I would say if you don't watch like all of the MCU stuff, I would say that you might be a little confused as to what's going on, but I do think that it is worth the watch. Like for me, it was definitely worth the watch. Like for real, it was worth the watch for me, for sure, for sure. Like I enjoyed myself. I had a good time. I think that if you are going to look for a cinematic masterpiece, or if you're like looking for something like groundbreaking and revolutionary, I don't think that you're gonna find that in this. But that's not a bad thing. Like this is a good movie. This is a good movie. So if you want to go watch a good movie, yes. You know, Valentine's Day is tomorrow and all that good stuff. You want to go do something with your sweet thing? Hell yeah, go and check this movie out. I think it's enjoyable for a little bit of everybody. Seeing Harrison Ford is always awesome. Anthony Mackie does a really good job in his role here. And it just kind of, the action is cool. It's not too heavy with action either, which is something that I appreciated. There's just dope moments. And yeah, man, like I would say that it's worth the watch. But again, with it being a 7.3 for me, I would say you would have to be. I would say if you are a fan of the MCU, if you're a fan of Marvel, then yeah, it's worth the watch to go for watching a Marvel movie. You know what I mean? But if you're not a fan of Marvel like that, if you don't watch Marvel movies, and you just are like, yo, should I see this movie? I would say like maybe not. But if you're interested in like knowing what's going on with Captain America, hell yeah. Like if you want to know what's going on with Sam Wilson, if you want to see Thunderbolt Ross, if you want to see those things, you should hella see the movie because all those things actually hit in the movie. Like Sam Wilson is awesome. Like Anthony Mackie is awesome in the movie. Like all that is awesome. So if that's why you want to see the movie, then hell yeah, you should. Like if you want to see, Red Hulk, then hell yeah, you should see the movie. Like, hell yeah, you should, because he was awesome in the movie as well. Like, you know, that's why I'm like, bro, I'm pleased with what I just saw. I'm not mad at all. Like, I can't be mad at all at what I just saw. It's not like, wow, that was a complete waste of time. Hell no, that was not a waste of time at all. That shit was dope. I'm actually so happy that there's so much lore and world building that I now get to go through and try to kind of piece together what the future of the MCU could actually look like. Because again, in this movie, they are trying very hard to not only wrap up what's gone on in the past, but also get us ready for what's about to happen with the Mutant Saga. Because the Mutant Saga is the next saga that happens after we're finished with the multiverse saga. So there's a lot of things that they're gonna have to kind of get the groundwork for in this movie, but in the universe. And they even dropped the term enhanced individuals, which I don't think is something that we've really heard before within the MCU. So as soon as they said that, I don't know. It just clicked something different in me because I was like, oh shit, they're not just talking about mutants or whatever. It's like they're talking about any enhanced individual of this kind or whatever. So that was a nice little glossary term to get added to it, as well as some other stuff. Getting to know the political climate of the overall MCU as well for these other nations, like Japan and France and so on and so forth. Like really getting to know what's going on with them here, it works, man. It works so well. And I actually hope we get to see more. Like, I hope we get to see more. Like, there are so many things that this movie could be introducing to us in the future. Like, no shit. Like, it's insane. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would, but it's definitely something I wouldn't rewatch, and definitely not in my top 10. Yeah, it's not in my top 10 either. It's not in my top 10 either, but I would rewatch it. I'm going to rewatch this movie. I'm probably going to watch this movie again while it's in theaters. I'm not going to lie to you because I know my wife wants to see it as well. And like I'm going to watch this movie in theaters again because I did enjoy it, and I would like to be able to deep dive into some of those smaller elements that were going on within the movie as well, and really get a better understanding of what was happening. Batman had many wives. He once Wow, Spider Boy. What? You have to see the What If series too. They have the human and duck married. Very funny. Yo, yeah, I saw that. I saw that. Billy McGuire. I did see What If. I enjoyed that too. That's not a bad show. Um, I never got a chance to see this movie yet. I want to see it so bad. Yo, Jericho, yeah, this shit just dropped today. The movie literally just came out today. I saw the first screening for it as well here in my IMAX. So it was dope. It was really cool. You're always love the good Morris superhero movies. I always wanted to see it, never got a chance to see it yet. This is exactly, well, bro. What are you talking about? Was the movie good? The movie was good. Yes, the movie was good. It was. Haven't seen it yet? Yo, you should check it out, bro. Especially if you're interested in Marvel, if you're interested in Red Hulk and Cap and all that. Yep, it's worth it. Just joined. Yo, what's up with it, Johnny? How you doing today? I hope you're having a good one. 2003 Hulk is the best. I have not seen the 2003 Hulk movie in forever. We might have to do a little watch party for that here on the channel because, man, I have not seen that in a fat minute. Like, since I was a kid, literally. Man. But yeah, solid. Okay, solid movie. So, Joaquin, I really liked Joaquin, but I didn't like Joaquin at the same time. Um, like, yeah, I was a fan of his character, but he kind of bothered me. Like, he was bothering me with certain things. Um, it was interesting having Anthony Mackie, him, and then having Isaiah Bradley, Sam Wilson, and then Joaquin. It was just a very interesting dynamic going down the list. And but you know, I like Joaquin and all, but bro was just, I don't know. It was just too like hip guy. Here's the hip guy in the group or whatever. I don't know what they were trying to do to him, but I wasn't a fan of it because he was a little bit too cocky. Yeah, yeah. I mean, and then this is what I'm talking about. When you deep dive into anything, when I start to deep dive, I immediately am like, well, no, it makes sense because his character literally gets knocked down a step and is forced to realize that he's been moving too fast and the things that he's doing, he's been a hothead, he's been cocky, and he really doesn't know the lay of the land. He really doesn't know the game. So like while I wasn't a fan of his character was supposed to be like that in order to build his own arc that he's going to go on. So it's like that's why it's like I didn't like his character, but I think that's by design. I do think that the movie did get better after he got, you know, after what happens to him because I know some of y'all haven't seen it. So I am in this is the spoiler section, so I'm going to be talking about the movie a little bit more in depth. Um for sure. Like I am going to be talking about it more in depth. So if y'all don't want anything spoiled, I'm just letting you know I'm talking about the movie. Like I'm talking about it. Uh but yeah, there's this moment with Joaquin where, because he's Falcon now. So Cap and Falcon are flying in the air and they're doing their thing. There's like a dogfight going on and they're fighting up against another jet. And it's pretty fucking awesome. Like, I'm not going to lie. It's a really awesome sequence that goes down. But unfortunately, Falcon, he basically has the same thing kind of happen to him that kind of happened to War Machine in a different way, and he gets hit in the sky, and then he's falling out of the sky, and he crashes. He gets hospitalized. He died actually, and then restart his heart, and then he's basically like in the hospital for like the rest of the movie after that happens. And at that moment, there is a shift in Cap in everything, and it's like, okay, the stakes are now raised a little bit higher. There's a lot more going on here, and it's time to really lock in. So that's why I kind of like his character, but I don't like his character at the same time. I think it's a little bit too much to have Sam receiving a mantle while he's also passing a mantle down. But that's the point. You know what I mean? Like, that's the point. He is now trying to be the teacher, and he has a student. And he's like, he was just the student, but now he has to step into this new role. All of those things are the point of the movie. Like, that is the point of his character. That is the plot of what he's going through. That is his development to achieve. So that's why it's like, on one hand, I could be like, I didn't like that, but it's part of the story, and you're not supposed to like it because he doesn't like it. You know what I mean? As a character, he doesn't like the situation that he himself is in, but since he's in the situation, he has to roll with the punches anyway. He has to make a decision. He has to do something regardless, even if he doesn't want to. So that is what is something that also stood out to me in this movie, is that fact of what I just said. For real. All right. Boom. I heard it was awful. Nah, Jace. The movie is not. The movie is not awful, like, at all. The movie is not awful. It's just, I hope you can't have I don't know what it's called, but it's basically everyone wants everything to be 100% the best movie they've ever seen ever, and that's just unrealistic. Like, that's an unrealistic thing to have. Those are unrealistic standards. So this movie is good. It's enjoyable. I think there's a lot of rewatchability here as well to kind of figure out the other things that are going on, and maybe even see what someone had said in a moment or something like that. World building and lore, like I said, are crazy. I can't wait to watch it tomorrow. I never expected it to be super good, but I just want it to be enjoyable. It is enjoyable, Terrell. It really is. It is enjoyable for sure. Like, I enjoyed myself watching it. Like, I was sitting there eating my popcorn, sipping on my little icy. I had a good time watching the movie. And then I was like piecing shit together. There's some really cool things that they showed as well. That had me like, oh shit, does that mean this? Does this mean that? I think they did a good job. I think they did a good job with it, for real. I really wanted to like the movie, but it was so mid. I like the movie. I don't know, like, it's not mid in the term of it's bad, but it's just not a top tier movie. You know what I mean? It's just a good movie. Like, if mid meant like middle ground, then that would be like, yeah, it is a middle ground movie. But mid usually means it's trash, and it wasn't mid. The movie is better than mid. It's not fantastic, and it's better than mid. You know what I mean? You can tell they lost the movie and all the reshoots and edits. I think that there was a lot of things added. There was that they I think they were trying to do a little bit too much. Like, those reshoots and those edits were probably to just streamline the point for a lot of things where people just didn't understand what was going on. I think a lot of that was going on. I think probably in their test screenings, since this is a spy thriller, mind you, people did not know what was going on. And I like the type of movies that are spy thrillers where it's like, maybe you got to watch the movie again to get a different perspective of what was happening, and then you could be like, oh shit, that was awesome. And I think that this movie has that potential as well, especially knowing things that we know now. I think if you go back and watch the movie, you could actually probably see some more seeds being planted, and so on and so forth, which is always a plus for me. You know what I mean? It's always a plus for me. So, um, I lost my train of thought. But yeah, was that a CGI Betty Ross? Nah, it wasn't CGI. That was really her. Is it worth seeing? It scale of 1 to 10. Well, I rate this movie a 7.3. So that's about what I'll say on the scale of worth seeing it. Like, is it worth the watch? I'd say it's about a 7.3 out of 10 worth the watch. You know what I mean? Uh, that's what I'll say. Especially if you are a fan of the MCU, if you want to see Red Hulk, if you want to see Cap, and how he is now, if you want to see like all of those things, if you want to know the direction of the MCU going forward, and like how the table is honestly set for different things, I think this is a solid 7.3 to watch for sure. And overall, how good is the film? Again, I say it's 7.3 out of 10. Yeah, definitely solid 7.3 out of 10 for watch, being worth the watch, how good it is, just across the board. Yeah, for real. Like, so let's go through some things and talk about these steps of the movie. Nah, I don't want that. I want scale. Hey, hey, I appreciate you for the $10 holla, Paulie B. Yo, W Paulie in the chat for the $10 holla. I get it. I dig it. Yo, shout out to my guy. I really appreciate you, brother. You're getting me hyped to see it a bit. Thanks. And keep up the good work. Hey, I appreciate you, Paulie, for sure, for sure. I definitely appreciate you, man. We are in the spoiler section of talking about the movie, so if you haven't seen the movie yet, I'll say tread lightly, and I'll try not to be too overly spoilery about things. But I also know that some people don't care about spoilers, so shout out to all of you guys that are here. By the way, I did get this. This is a Red Hulk bus. Oh my goodness, camera is not focusing on, bruh. I promise it looks better than what you're seeing right now. Hey, and welcome to the super fam, Polly. I appreciate you. Thanks for the sub. Thank you for the $10 holla. Yeah, I don't know why it looks like this right now, but this shit looks awesome in person. Like it look, I got a really solid picture of it too. So I'll show you guys that picture. But I was hyped. I mean, look at it back there. That looks pretty dope already, bro. Red Hulk was awesome, bro. Thunderbolt Ross was awesome in this movie. I felt so bad for his character. I'm not gonna lie, I did. Like, even though his character is a dickhead, like I felt bad for him at times. I was just like, bruh, you trying to turn a new leaf for real, bro. Like you really are. He really was trying to be the best person that he could be. But other shit just was going on, and other shit happens. I really like this movie. This movie was just as much. Hear me out, chat. All right, this movie is like the Captain America version of Thor Ragnarok. Okay, it's a Hulk movie, but it's also a Captain America movie. This is a Red Hulk movie, but it's also a Captain America movie. Like Red Hulk, that Thunderbolt Ross, he is not just the antagonist or whatever. Like he is a character. He has development. We start the movie with like it is just as much his movie as well. And that's another reason why I enjoyed this so much, is because we really got to spend time with Thunderbolt Ross. And that is something that we really haven't got to do up until this point, right? We've just see him kind of come through, say some things, let us know what's going on within the government. But in this movie, he was there. He was talking to us. He was really trying to understand what was going on too. He was trying to understand Sam. He was trying to really be I think he was trying to be just a good dude and a good president, and really trying to redeem himself for the mistakes that he has made in the past. And I loved that aspect of his character. Like I loved that aspect of his character, chat. It was so good to see him actively want to make good decisions for him, for his daughter, like anything. Like, I love those types of things for real. Like, I really do. I think they did a freaking fantastic job, bro. Like, a really fantastic job. Like, whoa, buddy. And again, big shout out to my guy Paulie B for the $10 holla, bro. I hope you really do enjoy. I hope you enjoy the movie tomorrow because I enjoyed myself for sure. Like, Hulk looks good. He looks good. I will also be the first to tell you guys that trailer finessed us for a lot of things. Like, they were removing shit from the trailer. There are shots from the trailer that aren't even in the movie. Like they definitely got us with the trailers. I'm not gonna lie. Like, there are multiple moments that I looked for when watching the movie that were not in there, and then, like, there were multiple things that I was like, oh shit, that wasn't how it looked in the trailer. Like, there are multiple moments like that. So, like, get ready because it's enjoyable. It's enjoyable to see those trailer moments and to see them be different. As well. I'll also let you guys know that the first 15 minutes is not just the trailer. Like, the trailer shows points throughout the movie, like from different points of the movie. Marvel, usually, like, their norm is to give us like the first 15 minutes in the trailer. And that first trailer at least, but every trailer that they've given us, it's been moments throughout the entire movie. Honestly, also, side note, couldn't give a shit about Giancarlo Esposito's character. Like, could not give more or less of a shit about his character. Honestly, they could have added anybody in that role, and it would have been, I think it would have been a little bit better if they had someone else playing that role. Not gonna lie. Like, his character, it was no, like, that, bro. No, 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 no. I agree with what Christopher had said earlier about they lost the movie in the reshoots. I don't think any of the reshoots were probably as necessary as people. Like, I don't think they were. I think that watching this movie, I could find where all the reshoot moments were. Like, I think that I can tell, and I don't think those moments were necessary. They really weren't. Like, Marvel hurt this movie, probably more than anything. You can tell that this is like a, like, we need this movie made type of movie rather than let's make a good movie. You can definitely tell. Like, you can tell that, yeah, 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 yeah. I don't feel like this is a movie where the writers came up with all of the aspects of what's going on. You know what I mean? Again, as far as Tiamat goes and the bringing in the leader and all these things, like, I feel like that's something that Kevin Feige and, like, the board had made up to be like, okay, we need to wrap up these loose ends before we do our soft reboot. So once we do our soft reboot, a lot of these things can actually be implemented in a different way. And I think that's something that they felt was very necessary. I think that Marvel thinks that this movie is necessary for world building and lore, like, more than anything, chat. Like, really, really. So that's why I'll say I also say it's worth watching, because if you're gonna want to know the street level shit and anything that's gonna be going on within the MCU, this movie has covered it for sure. Adamantium, it's going to be huge. Adamantium is directly going to connect to the mutants. Like, all of these aspects of things are getting woven together and are going to start meeting in the middle. And it starts with this movie right here. I'm not going to lie. So, yeah. Like, when you watch this movie, you'll understand what I'm saying as well. Like, if you've watched this movie and then you don't understand what I'm saying, just really think about the things that they introduced, the characters, the way that they were trying to build up everything, the way they left the political climate between the nations. It's very, that is a very good way to put it, Logic. It's very connective. This movie is interconnected to the MCU, to all things government and most things ground level as well. Because if you guys don't know, the street level and the government level things for the MCU aren't necessarily the same, right? Like, the street level shit that goes down, usually doesn't have a lot to do with actual like government politics. The street level is street politics with like the gangs and the mobs and all that stuff. And then the government level things is what we just had with this movie, something similar that we had with like Secret Invasion, regardless of how you feel about that. All the other Captain America movies, Thunderbolts is also going to be that kind of more, it's going to be like in between that street government and the other level that comes after that with the cosmic because of how Sentry is going to be. So, and I think that this is a good start to what we're going to be getting with the rest of the movies. Like, I think all of the movies this year are just going to get better and better and better. This movie was good. I think Thunderbolts is going to be even better than this movie. And then I think Fantastic Four First Steps is going to be even better than both of these movies. Like, I think we're going to have a really good buildup. And I love when Marvel does that with their projects as well. Even if it's because they're nervous, I still appreciate when it's like, oh, here's a good movie. Here's a really good movie. All right, now here's a fucking banger. Hold on to your britches and maybe wear an adult diaper because you might shit while you're watching the movie. Because I feel like when we see Galactus doing Galactus things, some people in the audience just may shit themselves. You know what I'm saying? So I think we have a really good build up here. Like, if you look at, that's the thing that I'll say too, is it when you look at this movie, as soon as you start deep diving into everything surrounding it, I think you can appreciate it more. You guys also have to remember, this movie is still part of the last regime when Bob Chapek had took over and he was just flooding everything. This movie was also in the heat of all of the writer strikes, actor strikes, not to mention when the visual effects manager had got fired from Marvel because they were showing favoritism and picking and choosing what projects would go to who, and that was actually deterring not only the output but also the quality. So these are all things that were heavily happening while this movie was in heavy development. That's why all these other reshoots and stuff happened after the fact because of all the shit that was going on between this movie being the conception of this movie and the movie being released. Because there was a lot of shit that happened behind the scenes, like Bob Chapek, leaving, and then Bob Iger coming back, and then him cutting back on the schedules of everything. Kevin Feige and his creative team went and had that meeting, and they started wanting to cut back on things as well to try to really zero in on what's going on with the multiverse saga. No doubt the post-credit scene from this movie is also a reshoot to try to weave in things more with the multiverse saga as well. There's a lot of things going on with this movie, but I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's a bad thing if you're not wanting a movie to be interconnected to the rest of the MCU. But for those of us that understand what the MCU is, I think it's going to be like, oh shit. All right. The fans literally begged. They literally begged to know what was going on with Tiamat Island. They begged to know what was going on with X, Y, and Y and Z. Like, so it's like, okay, here you go. Here are all of those answers. Unfortunately, they had to use this movie to do that. But at the same, especially because this is another thing we have to remember. The Spider-Man movie is no longer a street level grounded movie. Now that movie is also a multiversal movie. So they really had to do a lot with this movie here to set up the ground level and street level shit because they're not going to be able to do a lot of those things in the other movies that they have planned to do. Especially when one of the other movies that comes out this year is straight up in a completely different dimension. You know what I mean? Like the entire movie is going to take place in a different multiverse. Hopefully, we also get the name of that multiverse at the very beginning of the movie. But it's gonna be wild, baby. It's gonna be wild. So this movie has done I fuck with this movie. I can't wait to watch it again. I hope you guys like the movie. If you watched it, if you didn't watch it, I want to know. I mean, if you didn't like it and you watched it, I want to know why. I think that I'm not. I mean, I'm not surprised if you don't like this movie. I could see how some people might despise this movie, but if I'm not gonna lie. I can't see anybody hating this movie. I could just see people expecting, like, having way higher expectations for something than what we actually got. You know what I mean? But yeah, good movie across the board. I hope that we do get a Captain America too. That is another thing that I'll say. Or Captain America 5. That's what I'll say is I don't want this movie to be like, oh my god, we're not going to give Anthony Mackie another solo movie. He's only going to be in Avengers movies, or we're not going to do another Cat movie, or whatever. I don't want that to be the case. Like, I want more of all of that good stuff. You know, I want more of it all. Like, give it to me, baby. Give it to me. You know what I mean? Like, I want that shit for sure. So yeah, yeah, man, solid movie. 7.3 out of 10. Uh, I loved like I said, I loved Hulk, the Red Hulk, like all of that. Oh, buddy. Oh man, yeah, just really good. Finally found your Watt season 3 trailer reaction. Oh, snap. I forgot I did that in the live. I gotta thank you for saying that so much. I gotta go and actually take that out of the live and post it as a separate video. I forgot to do that. I'm slipping. Whoops. Big shout out to you for that though. But yeah, chat, I just wanted to hop on here, tell you guys about the movie, let you know how I thought about it, let you know my thoughts, my theories, some of my questions. I'm going to get super duper spoilery now. I'm going to actually start talking about specific scenes and things that were happening and what those things might mean. You know what I mean? So, uh, I just wanted to give you that warning. So run away if you don't want any spoilers, because I'm about to talk about adamantium and the connection to the X-Men that I think that they put in the movie. All right, so as most of us know, they talked about it in the trailers. Adamantium is a huge thing. Like it's a huge thing. It is the thing that comes from the Celestials, and they are going to be utilizing it to further build the Marvel Cinematic Universe, or at least in the Sacred Timeline, build that out a little bit more. So when President Ross is talking about adamantium, they show the effects that it can have and what it can do. While they show this, they actually show a human skeleton that could be possibly getting grafted by adamantium. I'm just saying that's crazy. They all but like they literally teased Wolverine. Like literally teased Wolverine. And it really makes you wonder what's about to be going down, man. Like it really makes you wonder what's about to be going down because how in the hell, like, bro, what? We know we got Hugh Jackman as Wolverine right now, but does that mean that they're also going to be creating a new Wolverine for the MCU? While a lot of us thought that they would use this soft reboot to just kind of put characters in the MCU, like just put them there and be like, oh, they've always been here or whatever. It seems like they might do that, but also still give them origin stories, you know? Like they're really going to try to do the best of both worlds, possibly, and be like, hey, look, you have this old man Wolverine from the other multiverse because that happened. But guess what? You also have this Wolverine that's actually in this universe or whatever. Like, bruh, what? And whether that be like X-23 or whatever. Like, bro, I don't know. But that shit is I just could not believe it. I was in shock and awe when it happened. Okay. Hold on, I'm looking for it. Oh yeah, and we find out they have an entire research facility inside of Tiamat. Like what? Yeah, they have an entire refinement facility stationed in like his eye. Awesome. Like they really might make that the Avengers base in the future, bro. Like I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, okay, so they talk about adamantium, and then they specifically talk about the improved technology, the advancements in medicine, as well as the upgraded defense. And literally, when they show the advancement in medicine, it shows a skeleton. Like it shows the skeleton of somebody getting grafted. Like it shows the skeleton getting grafted, bro. Hold on. Jesus, this is tweaking right now. What? Oh, here we go. Okay, let's see. All right, boom, there it is. So you see, in the middle, it says advanced medicine, but clearly that is a skeleton, bro. Like, so they're literally teasing Wolverine, yo. Like what? Like whoa. Like, bruh, it's gonna be insane. It's gonna be insane, bruh. I am so ready. Yeah, bruh. Like, solid movie, 7.3 out of 10. Definitely will watch again. Probably going to be watching it tomorrow or this weekend again with the wife for Valentine's Day or something like that. I really enjoyed it, Joe. Let me know how you guys are feeling. I really want to know how everyone else is feeling about this movie. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Are you disappointed? You know, all those things, all those questions. You know what I mean? Let me know your thoughts, theories, your questions, your opinions in the comment section down below. But with all that being said, chat, like I said, I wanted to just show up here tonight, talk about it a little bit. We'll probably go live again next week sometime to talk about it more after more people see it opening weekend. Because again, I think a lot of people are going to be seeing this movie. So definitely check it out. Definitely in with it. Don't forget to tune in with me. You can like the video. Make sure you like the video if you like the video, because it helps out tremendously around these parts. We're also doing watch parties for Fresh Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, Invincible, Daredevil's coming out next month, Wheel of Time's coming out next month. You know, we got a whole bunch of watch parties, a whole bunch of reviews, a whole bunch of reactions, all those things coming very, very soon. So I hope all you guys are ready for it, because I know I am. So with all that being said, I hope everybody has a fantastic rest of the day. As I always say, stay awesome, stay nerdy, and don't forget to stay marvelous. Excelsior.
If you guys would like to support Marvel Bros, all you gotta do is visit our website at www.marvelbros.com and buy some merch. Represent the superfan. Or you can join our Patreon to get early access to content, patron-only scoops, giveaways, private Q&As, and those sacred watch parties. We appreciate you guys. We'll catch you on the next one. Excelsior.
On today's pop culture news update.